John Joseph of River Road, St. George, passed away on Wednesday, 16th June 2021, at the age of 77. He was the father of Johnny Charles and Donna Bennett in the USA and Kashawn Newell in Grenada, stepfather of Al Philip, grandfather of Raldon Bennett and Raphael Charles in the USA and Kishoni Charles in Grenada, uncle of Tahira Allard in the USA, Gordon Sandy, Lucy, Lydia Johnson and Claudia in Grenada, father-in-law of Kristen Charles and Asher Charles. Other relatives and friends including the Honourable Peter David, the Langine family, the Philip family of River Road, Claudia Francis, Mr. and Mrs. Leonard Thomas, Messiah McQueen, Norma Charles, Constance, Sandra Noel, Victoria Bennett, Donna, the crew by Chucky's Bar, Jack's Shop, Ricky's Bar, Cornerstone Shop and Constance Shop, John's Boutique, Habbott's Paint Shop, Lacroix Brothers, and friends and neighbours of River Road, Beaulieu and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late John Joseph of River Road, St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chickamboo and Royus, of Moran St. John, passed away on Sunday 13th June 2021 at the age of 92. Left to mourn are his children Erman Raymond Alexis, Emma Cato, Lynette Robertson Bryan, Hermelin, Juliet, Kester, Kenneth, Kellon and Carol Raymond. 16 grandchildren including Denise Thomas in Canada, Alistair Raymond and Teresa Alexis Robertson in Grenada. 10 great-grands. Siblings Elaine Dabrio in Canada, Anne Raymond in Trinidad, and Alistair Raymond in Grenada. Sons-in-law Dennis Cato in Grenada and Leslie Bryan in Barbados. Sister-in-law Christine Raymond. Many nieces and nephews including Minister Alvin Dabrio in Grenada and Joyce Raymond in the UK. Close friend Danny Boy of Moran, the Lewis family of Florida St. John and Ladigue, the McIntyre family of Grove, the Lewis family of Cherry Hill, the Raymond family of Moran, the pastor and members of the Grove Church of Christ, other relatives in England, Canada and the United States, and friends and neighbours of Moran and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chickamboo and Royus of Moran St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Alistair John Scott, also known as Scotty or Dr. Scott, of Satire St. Patrick, who resided in Grandin's housing scheme, St. George, and Brooklyn, New York, the USA, retired police officer of the RGPF and Antigua Police Force and engineer in the USA, passed away on March 25th in the USA at the age of 77. He was the husband of Agnes Scott in New York, father of Alicia, Ali, Rachel, and Agnes Scott, Sherma Scott Patterson in New York, Anne-Marie Scott Grigg in Antigua, and Jason Charles in Grenada, brother of Michael and Finance Scott, and Cynthia Merriman in Grenada, Owen Scott in England, and Frederick Scott in Canada, uncle of Kenneth Scott in Trinidad and Beverly Scott in Grenada, in-laws including Dora Pilgrim in Canada, Merlin, Sister Merlin Scott, Veronica Mama Scott, Cecil Bruno, Errol Bruno, and Augustine Bruno in Grenada. Many cousins, relatives, and close friends in Grenada, New York, and Canada, including the Scott, Gordon, Merriman, Bruno, Benjamin, Cornwall, and Andrew families, Juliet Lynch, Rennie I. Williams, Yvonne Prosper, Anthony Tony Robinson, Preston Thomas, Jenny Duncan, Fitzroy Winter, Avis Mitchell, Deborah Thomas, Rachel Labari, Sherman Davis, Denise Bruno, Joycelyn Julian, Gloria Benjamin, Jacinta Carol Cummins, Anne-Marie Weeks, Wilfred Pilgrim, Eureka and Edlin, Miss Jessie, Phyllis, Catherine Langine, friends and neighbors in Grenada and abroad. A memorial service for the late Alistair John Scott, also known as Scotty or Dr. Scott of Satire St. Patrick, who resided in Grand Anne's house in Scheme, St. George, and Brooklyn, New York, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Phyllis Veronica Mckee, also known as Phyllis Paul of Pomrose, St. David, passed away on Saturday, 12th June at the age of 91. She was the mother of Hilary, Sandra, Augustine, and Fitzroy in Grenada, Laurel, Julia, Martin, and Matthew in the USA. Great-grandmother of 25, including Alia, Sophia, Cassidy, Sheldona, and Athena. Great-great-grandmother of 2, sister of Catherine Paul, also known as Met in the USA, and Ruby Samuel in Grenada. Aunt and grand-aunt of many in Grenada, Trinidad, and the USA, including teacher Nikki, Kennetha, Paul, Jesse, Johnny, Daphne, Clarice, and Charles. Mother-in-law of Alistair Bowen, Sharon Paul, and Roylon Henry in the USA. Many nieces and nephews, other relatives and friends, including teacher Dolores, Nelson Hazard, teacher Jude, Stephen Allen, Samuel Joseph, Nora Klein and family, the Mitchell family of Malmount, the Charles and Thomas families in Latante and Rucaine, the Mackey family and Lane family of Malty, the Augustus and Hazard families of Pomrose, Samuel family of Wester Hall, teachers of the Gift of Love Home in Malmount, priests and parishioners of Pomrose ROC Church, friends and the neighbors of Pomrose, Latante, and the surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Phyllis Veronica Mckee, also known as Phyllis Paul of Pomrose St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home.
Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth of Limlek Harriaku, passed away on Monday 14th June 2021 at the age of 88. She was the mother of Norman Cox, sister of Eileen Langdon and Cynthia Henrietta Langdon, also known as Henny, several nieces and nephews, several grandnieces and grandnephews, stepmother of Bernard and Rodney Cox, many other relatives and friends including the Cox, Bascom, Langdon and Quashie families, members of the Mount Paran Spiritual Baptist Church, Mother Nathlin, Mother Wilma, Bishop Albert and Bishop Wendell, Bishop Cox and members Kingsley, Sherman, Nerissa, Ashford, Nodge, close friend Shirley, the matron and staff of the Princess Royal Hospital, Mrs. Smith and staff of the St. Martin's Home for the Aged, and friends and neighbors of Limlek Harriaku. The funeral of the late Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth of Limlek Harriaku, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Louisa Johnson, also known as Etherine Johnson of Mongeloo St. George, a resident of the Grand Aunts Home for the Aged, died on Tuesday 15th June 2021 at the age of 93. Left to mourn her son Hyacinth Noel in Grenada and adopted son Carlton Thomas in the USA. 10 grandchildren: Merrill, Maureen, Maria, Mervyn, Melissa, Mckee, Lisa, Melanie, Natasha and Camille. 13 great-grandchildren. 2 great-great-grands. Sister and brother-in-law Joan Maloney and Clement John. Daughters-in-law Claudia Johnson and Gail Marie Noel in the USA. Godsons Claude Philip and Jason James in Grenada. Many nieces and nephews including Junior in the United Kingdom, Barbara, Selwyn, Miriam and Marcia in the USA, Ingrid and Simone in Tortola, Reginald Bowen, Anne, Tessa, Jacinta, Martha and Simon in Grenada. Many other relatives and friends including the Maloney family, the Williams family, the Marshall family, the Mark family of Caliste, members of the Christian Church of Richmond Hill and Brooklyn Hill, the matron, staff and residents of the Grand Aunts Home for the Aged, and friends and neighbors of Richmond Hill, Mongeloo and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Louisa Johnson, also known as Etherine Johnson of Mongeloo St. George, a resident of the Grand Aunts Home for the Aged, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Collibo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday 5th June 2021 at the age of 53. He was the son of Angela Philip and Dowling Panchew, father of Glendon and Crystal John and Darren Philip, grandfather of Amir, Crystal and Arnold John, brother of Carlton, Byron, Roderick and Donaldson Philip, Dennis Panchew, Rita Moore, Margaret Philip and Alice Philip Chaiton, uncle of 30 including Katisha, Deslin, Rachel, Magella, Trisha, Alex, Emron, Deshawn, Maverick and Duran, grand uncle of 31 including Nathan, Simeon, Karim, Levon and Raheem, Annette, Victoria, Lashawna and Deshauna, nephew of Lyris Williams, Claire Frida Panchew and Bernice Philip, Rogerson and Donald Panchew, brother-in-law of Yvonne, Anne and Leslie Chaiton, many relatives and friends including Eric and Magdalene Bowler, Teresa and Martin Philip, Roland Bowler, Irma George, Tracy, Noylan, Chelsea, Minister Kate Lewis, the Tanis, Philip and Jones families, the Simon family of Bahu Pedmota, and friends and neighbours of Tivoli, Belmont and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Carlibo of Tivoli St. Andrew, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. John Talisford, also known as Turner, of Chamfleur, Vincent St. David, died on Monday 21st June 2021 at the age of 85. Left to mourn are his children Wayne, Kenrick and Michelle Talisford, Monica Rivas, Merrill Nichols Japal, Branlett, Keith Joseph, Margaret Desi Felix, Jason Modeste, Anne, Edelyn, Crystal and Lydia. His one sister, Beulah Fletcher. 36 grandchildren. Many great-grands, too numerous to mention. Many nieces and nephews including Finbar, Merrick, Ashley, Paul, Marcel, Shanta, Charmaine and Sherry. Sister-in-law, Cicely Chateau. Other relatives and friends including Dawn Hagley, Glenna Victor and family, the Hagley, Chateau, Sharp and Talisford families, the matron and staff of the Hilarion Home, Sautez, loved ones and neighbours in the surrounding areas of Providence and Chamfleur, Vincent St. David. The funeral service and interment of the late John Talisford, also known as Turner, of Chamfleur, Vincent St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Albertha Magdalene Joseph, also known as Butter, of River Sally, who resided at Latost St. Patrick, passed away on Saturday 19th June 2021 at the age of 96. She was the mother of Joan and Denise Joseph in the United Kingdom, Heron Joseph in the USA, Veronica Joseph, also known as Denna in Canada, Benedict Joseph, also known as Psycho, and Geraldine Drayton in Grenada. Adopted mother of Lescott Charles, grandmother of Darren Daniel, Amelia and Kadesh Drayton, Nicole and Rolando Joseph, Charmaine Howard, Steve and Sharon, Zorisha Joseph, and Nikisha Ashley. Great-grandmother of 21, including Cameron, Kadisha, and Caden Joseph. Great-great-grandmother of 11, sister of Eulalia Joseph, also known as Lala. Aunt of many, including Brenda Mitchell. Mother-in-law of Monteith Drayton and Vina Joseph. Her caregiver, Marcella Alexander. Many other relatives and close friends including Irma Thomas, Chriselle McSwain, Cheryl Toussaint, the Cornwall family, the Joseph family in Grenada and Trinidad, the Benjamin and Mungo families, the Dakota family in Trinidad, the Toussaint family, and friends and neighbours of Latost, River Sally, St. Patrick, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Albertha Magdalene Joseph, also known as Butter, of River Sally, who resided at Latost, St. Patrick, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Francis Terry Clarkson of Mongeloo St. George died on Sunday, June 20th, 2021, at the age of 86. He is survived by his children Beryl-Ann, Terry, Fitzgerald, and Esther. Grandchildren Fitzgerald, Daniela, Diamond, Rock, Maya, Carter and Terry III, daughter-in-law Velma, son-in-law Ashton, sister Lillian Clarkson, brothers-in-law Alfred, George, James Glean and Thaddeus McQueen, sisters-in-law Margaret Glean and Beryl McQueen, many nieces and nephews including Tessa, Jacqueline, Jocelyn, Sherma, Earl and Laurie. Other relatives and friends including Kenny James and Edwin Felix, the Clarkson, Bruno, Glean, Mark and Griffith families, members of the People's Church St. Paul's, the Reverend Jeremiah Prescott and Reverend Lloyd Gift, members of the Construction and Agricultural Fraternity, and many other relatives and friends too numerous to mention. The funeral service and interment of the late Francis Terry Clarkson of Mongeloo St. George will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bolly, Crow and Palu, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley St. George, passed away on Sunday, June 20th, 2021, at the age of 69. He was the husband of Agnes Lewis, father of Kester, Camina in the USA, Carvel, Rochelle, Rick and O'Brien in Canada, stepfather of Keyshawn and Kehorn, brother of Anastasia, also known as Bennett, Unita, Wilson, Clarice and Randolph in the USA, Deslin and Ina in the UK, and Frederica, grandfather of Keston, Lenoy, Camille, Kareem, Cassidy, Corinne, Lennon, Aviel, Shondell, Jabari, Zalia, and Jaden, father-in-law of Colette, Adele, and Tiffany, uncle of many including Gemma, Glenn, Sherlyn, Lindy, and Abigail, brother-in-law of Trevor and James, many cousins, other relatives and close friends including the Bristol family of Pearls, the Cornwall family of Riversally, the Sparks family of St. David, the Francois and Charles families of La Poterie, the boys by Bragga's Shop, and friends and neighbours of Tivoli, Grand Anse Valley, La Poterie, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bolly, Crow, and Palu, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Rosalyn Philip, also known as Auntie Dolly, of Bonaire St. Mark, passed away on Monday 7th June 2021 at the age of 66. She was the wife of Albert Philip, mother of Ziza Philip and Ziska Philip, mother-in-law of Sabrina Fleming Philip, sister of Curtis Batiste, Verna King, Stetty, and Adeline Batiste, sister-in-law of Phyllis Batiste, Teresa, Eslyn, Anne-Marie Philip, David Stan Philip, and Anthony Philip, aunt of Joseph and David Ferguson, Samuel Batiste, Davin Philip, Travis Batiste, Richard King, Dale Norrie, Annie, Carleen, and Carleen Batiste, Davika Philip, and Tanisha Roberts, grand-aunt of Darville and Kadisha Ray, Josanne and Joselle Roach, Craig Rayburn, Lavon Straker, Nicole George, and Shalana Batiste. Many cousins, other relatives and friends, including William Samuel, Gordon Batiste, Llewellyn Benjamin, Zeke Buddy, Samuel Peters and family, Brenda Penny Andrew and family, Carol George and family, the Frank family of Victoria, the Philip family of Coast Guard, and friends and neighbours of Bonaire and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Rosalyn Philip, also known as Auntie Dolly of Bonaire St. Mark, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Alfred George, also known as Mr. George, of Backstreet, Hillsborough, Carriacou, passed away on Sunday, June 20th, 2021, at the age of 87. He was the uncle of Nestor Stanislaus, Amy Batiste, Dolly Cato, Alexia David, Patricia Charles, Todd, Sonny, and Theo Alexis, Cuthbert and Sharon George, grand-uncle of many. Other relatives and friends, including the Alexis family of Harveyvale, the Drummond, Cox, Cudjoe, and Philip families of Dover Carriacou, Anselm and Yvette James, Patricia John, Teacher Mary, Teacher Wanda, Ivica Atkins, Miss Quamina, residents and staff of the St. Martin Home in Grenada and the Top Hill Senior Citizens Home in Carriacou, and neighbours of Backstreet, Hillsborough and surrounding areas, too numerous to mention. The funeral service for the late Alfred George, also known as Mr. George, of Backstreet, Hillsborough, Carriacou, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Derek L. Lewis, also known as Chubby, of Paradise St. Andrew, passed away on Wednesday, June 30th, 2021, at the age of 33. The funeral arrangements for the late Derek L. Lewis, also known as Chubby, of Paradise St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Ian Young of Mongelou St. George passed away on Monday, 5th July 2021, at the age of 74. The funeral arrangements for the late Ian Young of Mongelou St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Mckee Whittam of Monkridge St. Patrick passed away on Friday, 2nd July 2021, at the age of 95. The funeral arrangements for the late Mckee Whittam of Monkridge St. Patrick will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Narika Jack, née Horsford, of Woburn St. George, died on Monday, 28th June 2021, at the age of 36. The funeral arrangements for the late Narika Jack, née Horsford, of Woburn St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Joseph Gabriel Charles, also known as Gabriel Fleming, and Erasto Barco, of Mount Rodney St. Patrick, who resided at Paradise St. Andrew, passed away on Friday, 2nd July 2021, at the age of 63. The funeral arrangements for the late Joseph Gabriel Charles, also known as Gabriel Fleming, and Erasto Barco, of Mount Rodney St. Patrick, who resided at Paradise St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Jacqueline Worm of the Bocas St. George died on June 30th, 2021, at the age of 59. The funeral arrangements for the late Jacqueline Worm of the Bocas St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Anthony Andrew Julian, also known as Officer, Tweety, and Brother Julian of Pedmotar St. David, Police Constable 898, who was attached to the Central Police Station, passed away on Tuesday, 29th June 2021, at the age of 57. The funeral arrangements for the late Anthony Andrew Julian, also known as Officer, Tweety, and Brother Julian of Pedmotar St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Carmen Sam of Springs St. George died on June 27, 2021, at the age of 100. The funeral arrangements for the late Carmen Sam of Springs St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Catherine Simeon of Old Westerhall St. David passed away on Sunday, 27th June 2021, at the age of 72. The funeral arrangements for the late Catherine Simeon of Old Westerhall St. David will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Rachel Bartholomew, also known as Teacher Rachel, or Rary, of Melrose, Lamode St. George, died on Friday, 25th June 2021, at the age of 50. The funeral arrangements for the late Rachel Bartholomew, also known as Teacher Rachel, or Rary, of Melrose, Lamode St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Lennox Paul Cox, also known as Nako and Daddy Pro of Belvedere Carriacou, passed away on Monday, 21st June 2021, at the age of 66. The funeral arrangements for the late Lennox Paul Cox, also known as Nako and Daddy Pro, of Belvedere Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Clifford Marshall of Clogier, who resided at Seamoon St. Andrew, died on Wednesday 23rd June 2021 at the age of 56. The funeral arrangements for the late Clifford Marshall of Clogier, who resided at Seamoon St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Wesley Biggs of Laborie St. Paul's, former Commissioner of Her Majesty's Prisons and Coordinator of the Probation Unit at the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, passed away on Friday 11th June 2021 at the age of 57. The funeral arrangements for the late Wesley Biggs of Laborie St. Paul St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Lindy Skinner of Hopevale St. George, who resided at John Anglais St. George, passed away on Monday 7th June 2021 at the age of 38. The funeral arrangements for the late Lindy Skinner of Hopevale, who resided at John Anglais St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Malmount St. David, passed away on Saturday 5th June 2021 at the age of 43. The funeral arrangements for the late Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Malmount St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
Death and dying are the inevitable events and realities of life. The passing of a friend or loved one often brings with it the feelings of sadness, grief, and pain. There is always the period of sorrow and mourning for those who experience such loss. Brothers and sisters, particularly in this time and season of how you feel and what you may be thinking as a result of the passing of your loved one, there is a source and means of comfort that you can tap into. That source and means of comfort is God and His Word that speaks specifically and directly to our situation. Hear the word to you today. He says, "Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted." What I believe he is saying through this verse to you and everyone that is now experiencing some measure of grief or sorrow, and what I also believe is implied in that which he says, are the following. Mourning is an understandable, normal, and real expression of your emotions. Mourning presents the opportunity for us to experience the comfort of family, friends, and loved ones. Mourning identifies us with each other in our humanity and morality. Mourning will not last forever. It is for a particular season and reason. Mourning connects us with the ultimate source and means of comfort that is always available to us, God, our Heavenly Father, through Jesus Christ. And so today, we look to the Lord in prayer, Him who is able to comfort us with the comfort that we need in times like these. God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of comfort, we pray even now for those who mourn and are in need of your comfort. May your love embrace them. May your grace afford them the strength for each day and hope for tomorrow. May you inspire and motivate them to stand upon the promises of your word. And may your Spirit lead and direct them to the ultimate source and means of comfort which can be found in you and the promises of your word. This prayer we offer through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.